like today, do kids even go to school anymore?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think COVID just stopped going to school. Hello and welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast on a Friday. I am Spencer Cartier.
And I am Polaris.
Polaris.
The North Star.
The North Star. And this here is Frank, decked out, daddy decked out in Sixers gear. Big game tonight.
Really?
Big game. We are in the second round of playoffs, playing the Miami Heat.
Okay.
They're based out of Miami.
Figured.
And we are down in the series 0-2. It's a best of 7 series.
Oh, no.
So basically, if we lose tonight and it goes 0-3, you just know coming back from that.
Oh, no.
So Frank is decked out, hoping it'll give the Sixers some good juju.
Yeah.
I want to ask you something. Now, I know a lot of sports people, and they get very superstitious. Me, a realist, never understands it. And also, people do, this is a spiritual podcast, people pray. They pray for their teams to do well. And my thing about the superstitions when it comes to sports is, wouldn't it just be contradicted by, like, I have to wear my hat this way for them to win? It's like, yeah, well, how many Miami Heat fans are wearing their left shoe on their right foot?
Yeah. Well, maybe you're just hoping that if there's enough of you, or if you have enough strength in your superstition, you
like
won't.
Voting.
Yeah.
It's like your one vote won't matter to all the other
Right.
votes. Okay, I guess that gives it. Even still, I guess maybe it helps you come to terms with the sports games you watch. I never got that deep into it to start having to wear my shirt backwards or inside out. But I'm also very unlucky.
Oh, no, that's not true.
Do you believe in luck?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
Well,
it's the first Friday in May.
First Friday,
So
art galleries.
Yeah. So it's National Space Day.
No, like outer space?
Yeah, outer space.
Okay.
Believe it was started in the 90s by Lockheed Martin, which is probably like aerospace people or something. And so when they promote it now, like today, do kids even go to school anymore? I don't think so.
I think COVID just stopped going to school.
They promoted how would you in the 50s or something? I think the little kids wanted to be astronauts. Now it's more STEM learning. It would be in that sort of promotion.
Okay.
Do you know what STEM is for?
It's like stem cells?
No. It's like a type of a focus on education in these certain areas.
Oh, okay.
Science,
technology, environment,
engineering,
and M is
math.
Go.
Yeah, I don't think we really heard of it when we were younger.
No.
So that's today, National Space Day. That's why I'm Polaris.
The North Star.
At the
before
moment,
you go with that, now is this a first Friday of May holiday, or is
Yes.
this a May 6th
It's
holiday?
a first Friday of May holiday. You said I'm the North Star.
Yes.
I'm only the North Star right now.
Oh.
The North Star changes.
And it's only due north now.
I don't know. It's right now it's Polaris, and it will be Polaris for the remainder of our lifetime and for a few centuries later.
Oh. Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so it doesn't change that quickly.
No.
Oh.
It changes through something called precession, and no, it's changing 1 degree every 73 years.
Wow.
But North Star, Polaris, National Space Day, North Star is the North Star over the manger.
Yes. Now, is Polaris?
The answer is no, by the way.
It's not north?
It's not. No, I meant the North Star is not over the manger, but.
Oh, it's not. Well,
But what were you just going to say?
Couldn't it always be, depending on where you're coming from?
It's not the North Star that we all are referring to right now.
Now I'm confused.
There's something called the North Star.
Yeah.
Okay. It's what you see in the sky right now, and it's bright.
Okay.
And people say that's the same North Star
Yes.
that's shown over the manger of Bethlehem when baby Jesus was born.
Yes.
The bright light in the sky over the manger was not the North Star.
Oh, what was it?
Astronomers think it was a star,
Okay.
a nova star. which is like I think the brightest star that there is.
Well, I think supernova would be
okay,
a little bit brighter.
People think people think it's literary license of Matthew. People think it could be an angel. People think it could be what else do they think it could be? Something else. But it was what we don't know what it was, but scientifically.
Well, my question is this:
it wasn't the North Star.
Why couldn't it be Polaris?
Because the astronomers
that place Polaris wouldn't be visible.
How Matthew said it didn't move, everything like this.
Okay.
They literally have narrowed it down, and they're like, we can categorically say it was a star, but it wasn't. We
can't say it was a star that's in our star in our sky.
It was only happening at that time. Like the North Star, the thing we're talking about, is consistent through all the centuries. We're looking at it.
Okay.
The thing that happened over the manger was a star, but what kind of star was it? And like I said, other people still think like, no, it was an angel, or it was.
Yeah,
it was a special star.
It was this or that. That's all I have about this star.
Okay, well that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's May 6th. 6 de Mayo.
Yeah.
You know. What else is going on? Weather's not that great, but we don't really talk about weather around here anymore because you could be listening to this 100 years. By the time people are still listening to this, Polaris might not be around anymore.
Yeah, probably not.
They'll say, well, we knew there was a star that Croak and Crow talked about. But we just don't know what it was.
Right.
Anyway, guys, it is Friday. It is fun, fantastic Friday. Sixers are on. Spring is in the air, but that's all just hoopla. Mm-hmm. Because on Fridays around here on the Croak and Crow show, we have a little special segmente called Dr. Seuss Friday, baby. So, guys, on Dr. Seuss Friday, we pick a Dr. Seuss book, just like this one, and we read it. A little reading. We do a little reading of a Dr. Seuss book, and I know what you might be thinking. Why? You're a Christian podcast. You're an entertaining podcast. Why are we reading children's books? I'll tell you why. Because these Dr. Seuss books are a lot more than that. The concepts in these books may have been overlooked when you were a child or when you were reading to a child, but they're actually things that we can use. We've now read about 20 Dr. Seuss books, and we look at it with our adult brains, and we say, wow, that actually has a really good message to it. And we try to find that message with our adult brains. Dr. Seuss, we look very fondly to him for his advice. And the final thing that I like to say is there's a reason that it's good that kids learn it, because in the Bible, kids are always revered as being malleable and having open ears. And so it's time for us to lose our adult ego that we have to read War and Peace. And we can get something out of this Dr. Seuss book today. I just know it.
Yeah.
And we can walk away from it being like, Dr. Seuss taught me how to be a better human. Croak and Crow passed on the message of how I can be a better human.
Right.
So together, let's do that. Were you going to say something?
I was going to say the book today sounds like a different book that has been banned.
Oh, okay. So the book today we're reading is If I Ran the Circus. And you said there is a similar book?
Dr. Seuss's If I Ran the Zoo is banned.
Is banned because of some stereotypical illustrations?
The illustrations, I think, were not appropriate for 2022.
Okay, so this is not If I Ran the Zoo. Wow, this looks really old because I see a sort of a rendition of Cat in the Hat, but not nearly what you imagine Cat in the Hat
I think it is
like.
old. I'm sure it is, because I think If I Ran the Zoo is very old, and this came before it. And I just remembered why I wanted that circus book today, because for your birthday, do you want to go?
Next Wednesday, May 11th.
Do you want to go to the circus this weekend?
Okay.
Well, the circus, as you know, went out of business, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, unfortunately. We'll just leave it at that. The paranormal circus is playing locally this weekend.
Sounds
only
spooky.
And then it moves on. It moves, so it already played last night. And so I said, you like the circus.
I do like the circus.
You went to Cirque du Soleil and you used to read books about it.
And,
so let's go to the circus this weekend and we can tell them about it.
Let's go to the circus. Come
on
along
Wednesday,
with us.
On your birthday show, we'll talk about your birthday trip.
Yes, I am all for a little circus paranormal. Maybe we'll talk to some ghosts, some clown ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
Honk, honk from the afterlife. All right, guys, let's read If I Ran the Circus. It looks like a big book. This book is for my dad, Big Ted of Springfield, the finest man I'll ever know.
Oh, that's nice.
Is that Dr. Seuss's dad?
Should be a Father's Day book instead of a Mother's Day book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Mother's Day's coming up. That's neither here nor there. In all the whole town, the most wonderful spot is behind Sneelock's store in the big vacant lot. It's just the right spot for my wonderful plans, said young Morris McGurk, if I clean up the cans. Now a fellow like me, said young Morris McGurk, could get rid of this junk with a half-hour's work. I could yank up those weeds and chop down the dead tree and haul off the old cars. There are just 2 or 3. And then the whole place would be ready, you see. All ready to put up the tents for my circus. I think I will call it Circus McGurkus. The Circus McGurkus, the world's greatest show, on the face of the earth or wherever you go. The Circus McGurkus, the cream of the cream. The Circus McGurkus, the circus supreme. The Circus McGurkus, colossal, stupendous, astounding, fantastic, terrific, tremendous. I'll bring in my acrobats, jugglers, and clowns from 1,033 faraway towns to the place that you'll see 'em in, ladies and gents, right behind Sneelock's store in the great McGurk tents. And I don't suppose old Mr. Sneelock will mind when he suddenly has a big circus behind. After all, Mr. Sneelock is one of my friends. He might even help out doing small odds and ends. Doing little odd jobs, he could be of some aid, such as selling balloons and the pink lemonade. I think 500 gallons will be about right, and then I'll be ready for opening night. What an opening night, what a sight. I'll hoist up the curtains, the crowds will crowd in, and my Circus McGurkus will promptly begin, with a welcoming toot on my welcoming horn, by my horn-tootin' apes from the jungles of Jorn, where the best horn-tootin' apes are all born, 'cause the very fresh air there is fine for their lungs, and some of those fellows have 2 or 3 tongues. This way, step right in, this way, ladies and gents. My sideshow starts here in the first of my tents. When you see what goes on, you'll say no other circus is half the great circus of Circus McGurkus is. Here on stage 1, from the ocean of Ulf, is a sight most amazing, a walrus named Rolf, who can stand on 1 whisker, this wonderful Rolf, on the top of 5 balls, 2 for tennis, 3 golf. It's a marvelous trick, if I do say so myself. And on stage number 2, here's something quite new. From a country called From comes this drum-tummied snum, who can drum any tune that you might care to hum. Doesn't hurt him a bit, 'cause his drum-tummy's numb. And you'll now meet the Foon, the remarkable Foon, who eats sizzling hot pebbles that fall off the moon. And the reason he likes them red hot, it appears, is he greatly enjoys blowing smoke from his ears. Of course pebbles like this are quite hard to collect, but Sneelock will manage, somehow I expect. After all, Mr. Sneelock is one of my friends, and I'm sure he'll help out doing small odds and ends. And on stage number 4, see the Willy Walloo, who can throw his long tail as a sort of lasso. With a flip of the hip, with a tail of this kind, he can capture whoever is standing behind. He can capture old Sneelock, I'm sure he won't mind. And now here is a hoodwink, who winks in his wink hood. Without a good wink hood, a hoodwink can't wink good. And folks, let me tell you, there's only one circus with wink-hooded hoodwinks, the Circus McGurkus. The show of all shows, there's no other showman who shows you a show with a blindfolded bowman. The blindfolded bowman from Brigger Barut, the world's sharpest sharpshooter, look at him shoot. Through the holes in 4 donuts, 2 hairs on a worm, and the knees of 3 birds without making them squirm. And then on, though, a crab apple up on the head of Sneelock, who likes to help out, as I've said. And now come to this spot where the spotlight is hot, and you'll see in the spotlight a juggling jot, who can juggle some stuff you might think he could not, such as 22 question marks, which is a lot. Also 44 commas and also 1 dot. That's the kind of Circus McGurkus I've got. But that's just my sideshow, a start, a beginning. This way to the big tent, you'll find your head spinning. Why, ladies and gentlemen, youngsters and oldsters, your heads will quite likely spin right off your shoulders. So hurry up, step lively, quick, ladies and gents, and get into your seats in my tent of all tents. My parade of all parades is about to commence. You'll see Drum Major Sneelock fling his baton, and my organ McGurkus come on. With its hot steaming pipes of gold brass plated tin, snorting all sorts of snorts in a bumbling din. This is so super stupendous, roarous, and when I play Dixie, please join in the chorus. Then a fluff muffled truffle will ride on a huffle, and next in the line a fine flummox will shuffle. The flummox will carry a lurch and a pail, and a fibble will carry the flummox's tail, while on top of the flummox 3 harp, twang and snarp, will twang mighty twangs on their 3-snarper harp, while a bolster blows bloops on a 3-nozzled blueser, a nulster blows floops on a 1-nozzled newser. And then comes a lion who's partly a trout, then more stuff for 45 minutes about. And then behind them, then while everyone stares, come my to and fro marchers who march in 5 layers. The froes march on toes and the toes march on froes. Don't know how they do it, but that's how it goes. And now comes an act of enormous. No former performance performed this performance. This stunt is too grippingly, slippingly frightening, down from the top of my tent like greased lightning. Through pots full of lots of big sticklebush trees slides a man, what a man, on his roller skate skis. And he'll steer without fear, and you'll know at a glance that it's Sneelock, the man who takes chance after chance. And he won't even rip a small hole in his pants. And now here in this cage is a beast most ferocious, who's known far and wide as the spotted atrocious, who growls, howls, and yowls the most blood-curdling sounds, and each tooth in his mouth weighs at least 60 pounds. And he chews up and eats with the greatest of ease things like carpets and sidewalks and people and trees. But the great Colonel Sneelock is just the right kind of a man who can tame him. I'm sure he won't mind. Then I'll let Sneelock off for a few minutes' rest, while high over your heads you will see the best of the world's finest, fanciest, breezy trapezing, my zoop troop from West Upper Bendizang, who never quite know, while they zoop and they zoom, whether which will catch what one, or who will catch whom, or if who will catch which by the what and just where, or just when and just how in which part of the air. Aye, what a circus, my circus McGurkus. My workers love work, they say, work us, please work us. We'll work and we'll work up so many surprises, you'd never see half if you had 40 eyeses. And now again Sneelock, brave Sneelock is back, risking life on my patented life-risking track, while the speedsters I call my colliding collusions race round in swift cars called abrasion contusions. And Sneelock just lies there, not one bit excited. I know he won't mind. He'll be simply delighted. And here in a contest of brute strength and muscle, Kid Sneelock, my champ of all champs, will now tussle, and wrestle a beast called the Grizzly Ghastly, and slap him around, and he'll slam him down fastly, and pin both his shoulders tight flat to the mat. Kid Sneelock will love it, I'm sure about that. And while that goes on there, look at this go on here. Have you heard of my herd of through horns jumping deer? Every deer jumps through horns of another pet male, while his horns are jumped through at the same time as well, by a deer whose horns also are jumped through, by another who's having his horns jumped through too, which I'm sure trainer Sneelock can train them to do. Then the whole tent will ring with hoorays and wild shouts when I wheel in my whales and they turn on their spouts. First my whale number 1, with an aim that aims true, spouts a spout that spouts Sneelock to whale number 2. And then whale number 2 spouts his spout like a gun, and that spout spouts old Sneelock right back to whale 1. And then forwards and backwards on spout after spout, my great spout rider Sneelock gets spouted about, just as long as the water their spouting holds out. Then my tournament knights, noble apes without fears, Sir Hector, Sir Victor, Sir Bops, and Sir Beers, Sir Hawkins, Sir Dawkins, Sir Jawks, and Sir Jeers, clatter into a tent while everyone cheers, stage a roust about joust with their boxing glove spears. And while all this wild ruckusing goes on below, at the top of the tent, look, the star of my show. Great daredevil Sneelock, the world's bravest type. He comes pulled through the air by 3 Subrian snipe on a dingus contraption attached to his pipe, and while people below are turning chalk white, and all the biting their fingernails off in the fright, great Sneelock soars up to a terrible height. Then he shakes himself loose, he starts down in a dive, such as no man on earth could come out alive. But he smiles as he falls, and no fear does he feel. His nerves are like iron, his muscles like steel. And he plunges down with his hair still combed neat, 4,692 feet. Then he'll land in a fishbowl, he'll manage just fine. Don't ask how he'll manage, that's his job, not mine. Why, he'll be a hero, of course he won't mind, when he finds that he has a big circus behind. The end.
Thank you.
That was a little bit of a long one.
Yeah. They're all once you get to that size, I think they're all like 50 pages or something like that. Again, a child cannot read that book. A child cannot read that book.
Well, it's Dr. Seuss. Like, what's the age group for Dr. Seuss? I thought it was more like you read it to kids.
Is that what it is?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
Because no. Then
imagine a child
there is the books like
underestimating children.
Red Fish, Blue Fish that you're meant to read because like it puts red in the color red and like I don't know.
And some of the earlier ones we had were readable.
Yeah.
This is fine. I love it. And we talked last week. We also had a tongue twister one, and I found it to be a little meditation of just reciting something that
it does. It does have a nice little
some
flow.
Energy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the book?
I love it. It's the joy of celebrating people's different gifts and talents.
Yeah.
Without jealousy, right? Because each performer is letting that person shine in their whatever their thing is, and the audience is enjoying this, and the circus the ringmaster, who if I ran the circus, the person who's talking,
McGurk,
right? McGurk's circus. His idea is benefiting. It's benefiting the performers. It's benefiting the audience, and it was even benefiting like the guy who.
Well, that's where I'm going to stop you because
really?
I think you missed an entire concept of this book.
No,
the entire concept, which I don't doubt. I'm not going to say it was necessary, and I also I get the images. This is the first time we're both reading it.
Yeah, I never.
So I can kind of see what's happening, but
okay.
And I'm not saying it like it's a bad thing because it also is coming from a child's imagination.
Yeah.
Or whoever. But let's pretend like McGurkus is not a child. Let's pretend like he's an adult and let's judge him.
Okay.
Right, let me see what he looks like.
Judging Friday.
Yeah, so he's just a little kid. All of his plans, the point is, in the beginning, it was Sneelock has a store with a bunch of space in the. Sneelock is the old man.
Okay.
Owns a store. There's a ton of space in the back. That's a circus.
So he's going to fantasize about.
He was fantasizing
what I could do with this space.
And he was like, Sneelock won't mind if I build a circus. He'll be happy.
Oh, is that what he keeps referring to throughout the whole book?
And throughout the book, everything and the stunts were getting more and more dangerous. And he's like, it's just continuing of, Sneelock won't mind. And it's like, and then he'll do this. And it's like, and I think one of the things at the end was, he jumping off of 4,000 feet and he'll land in a fishbowl. And he's like, but that's Sneelock's. He's like, I don't know how he'll do it, but that's his job, not mine. So it's the idea of everything was based around the fact that, he won't mind doing this. He won't mind doing this. He won't mind it and spiraling out of control when he doesn't even know if he would mind about starting the circus in the back. And
he probably would. It sounds like a lawsuit.
Yeah. Well, it was. I think the point of it is it was escalating in size of what he was asking from Sneelock, expecting that he'll do this.
Another taking advantage of one individual in Dr. Seuss's books.
Yeah, well, I so that's the other thing about this one where it's not as much taking advantage because it is a kid's imagination, which is good to have. He was a very vivid imagination, but I guess the one takeaway that I would take from it would be when we make plans in our own head about things. And we are just assuming, well, this is going to work because this is going to happen. This person's going to do this. This person's going to do this. And when you do that, it's like you don't realize you can't let a plan spiral out.
You're right.
Assuming there's a person that's going to help you.
You're right.
So, it's just for a personal thing. It's like, that's the biggest thing. Sometimes you have these big grandiose plans that are based around other people and you can't expect. And if you build a start to finish based around other people, it might never happen.
Right. Yeah. And then, there's the funny phrase of like, don't ask for permission, beg for forgiveness.
No, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Right. So it's kind of, he's operating like that, right? Well, when I think of biblically, the one thing I first thought of was David and Goliath. There was the big giant, what was it? Some kind of some kind of character. Wasn't the little person the one that was like tying it up and beating it up?
No, so he was assuming Sneelock would do that.
Oh my God, because I saw a little person. So the little person's just the narrator the whole time.
Yeah, a little person just saying, I'm going to make the circus, and then all of these crazy things.
Okay.
The only way it'll work is Sneelock will figure it out. He'll be delighted to do it.
Okay.
And so
speaking for someone else,
assuming someone else, and it just goes back to that, like building this entire idea and getting out of hand when the very start thing before your mind gets all crazy is, Sneelock, can I build a circus in your backyard?
Right.
And I could have been no there, and he's letting his mind go and go.
Right.
And this is going to be okay. Well, that's okay. He won't mind. He'll be happy to do this, this,
right.
and this. And it's like, you need to reel it in.
Sometimes they say, like, if you, what's it called? Like, and you have it's okay to have crazy, crazy big plans because just let the ideas flow and then, maybe you can come all the way back down.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think, if I get a takeaway from this book, it's that in the very end, he's back. It's him outside of Sneelock's place, and it's like everything we just talked about was based on
had nothing to do. Yeah, this guy had no idea.
Had nothing to do with him or his own capabilities.
Very loosely biblical. Very loosely was. In the beginning of the Bible when they're telling you like all the tribes and like these are the priests and these are the people who take care of the animals and these are the people who. It just gave me a little bit of vibes of that of like they had. Because it wasn't just one one circus. Some of them were like the groups of people who were going to walk on top in it. Yeah. That just gave me a little vibe of that because I was trying to think of. Yeah.
I mean, I guess on the spiritual side, I'm trying to think for me. I think just even on. I just think it's such an important thing to not set things up on other people.
You're right.
I mean, even like Jesus said, you can't do this in your own town,
right? Or
something like that. And it's that idea of his circus would have been his journey. And if you start it with based on other people, Sneelock messes it up and then you have no more circus.
Yeah, of course.
And the same thing with spirituality. If
it's not a good foundation anyway, even if Sneelock agreed, because he could pull the pin at any minute. Yeah.
And so there's definitely, we're on Earth. We have our own individual missions, but don't rely or don't plan accordingly as if someone will always help you. People will help you and be great. If he started building his circus on his own and Sneelock helped, that'd be great. And in our own lives, that's great too. But the danger in making, well, I'm going to do this because this person's going to do this. When that person doesn't, now your plan fell through.
Right.
And you don't want your plans falling through.
No, I liked it.
I liked it too.
Another one in the
one bites the dust.
Another one on the bookshelf. And we're going to a circus.
We'll let you know about it. Next time we see you, actually, it's going to be my birthday. So
actual birthday episode.
It's going to be my actual birthday episode. So get your presents ready. But you know what? My present will be your presents. How about that? Till next week, go out and go to a circus or do whatever. Have fun this weekend. It's 6 de Mayo. Peace.